We will be the mature adults that we are.
Yeah. My personal experience speech is about the reason why I don't want to do my greenhouse ships in America. And the thing is that nothing that I'm going to really say is subjective. You know, it's nothing really opinionated. It's nothing that I really personally hate anybody or anything like that. Everything is about something that happened to me, legally happened to me, that was literally unfair. And as you see right in front of us, you see my hat that I wear that has my little EIB.
Yeah.
That insignia that's up there is the EIB. It's an award that you get in the military. It's a very distinguished award. Only infantrymen can get it, special forces can get it, and Rangers can get it. The other one is my military ID, which if anybody in here is a veteran and ever seen that ID, you know that's a military ID. Like you can't get that. That comes from the president himself. Well, not the president himself, but the executive branch. And the other one is my VFW card, and that's just further evidence that I'm a military veteran. And the reason why I want to explain that is because in Massachusetts, a year and a half ago, I was denied Chapter 115 benefits. And the thing was that I was denied benefits because of my DD 214. Now, like I said earlier, you know, I got a DUI when I was in Hawaii and everything else like that, and I feel very bad about that. But also that came through that circumstance was something else, was that I got caught smoking weed while I was in the Army, and I got kicked out. And you know, on my second enlistment, when I got kicked out, they gave me an other than honorable discharge. But I did complete an entire term of service, which was my honorable discharge, which is a DD 256 Alpha. And Massachusetts, under Massachusetts law, they do not even recognize that. The only thing they look at is the DD 214, and even then, they only look at your last discharge that you had. And that's very unfair because, as some people have seen already, there are some there's a discharge list of like 30 different discharges that you can have that consider you an honorably discharged veteran. Like there's not just one thing. You know, you can have a DD 256 Alpha, DD 257 Alpha. You can get a certificate from the Department of Veterans Affairs and everything else like that. And this right here, when I was denied my Chapter 115 benefits, that just proves to me that the world isn't what people think it is. It's not as nice as people think it is. And it is actually discrimination because they only look at one aspect of somebody's life. And it's very unfair because you can have you can have many different characters in your life that prove that you're a positive person. And now, the other thing, that's just that one aspect. You know, since Massachusetts denied me my civil rights, I feel that I'm only fair to deny you, you know, working or even the potential of doing this idea with me. The second one is something that's a little different, and it's a reverse conviction. Like I spent time in jail over a conviction of giving somebody new materials. Now, let me explain a little bit of the history of that. Prior 5-6 years ago, I wanted to do, well, technically, possibly about all my life, I kind of wanted to be in the porn industry, and I wanted to be a porn actor. You know, and some people look at it as very judgmental and everything else. I look at it, hey, it's a job, you know, but there's certain circumstances why I don't want to do it now. But the thing is that I sent them to a news reporter, and the news reporter looked at it like I was trying to, you know, think of her into something that it wasn't. You know, all it was basically business, because if you go in any public state library out here, you can't just look up, hey, you know, let me find a porn industry website, get their contact information, and contact them to try to do business. And you just can't find it even in the phone book. Like, it takes a lot to actually go through. But the ironic thing is that you can go to the Library of Congress, and you can look up all the porn you want to. So you can go to the federal library that's in D.C. and look up all the porn you want to. Like, I literally had to do that. I caught a bus all the way to D.C., and I found a bunch of websites, and I actually went through the whole process. Like, I went to Playgirl, everything else like that. I actually sent letters to Jenna Jameson, the same exact pictures that I sent her, I sent to Jenna Jameson. And I actually got invited to do some porn, but they wanted me to do guy-on-guy porn, and I'm not that way, so I couldn't actually do it. So, you know, that's the reason why I'm not.
I feel like you're hearing something privileged information. Go ahead, Kevin. Kevin, I think, ironically, I had a husband was born in the street, his name was Kevin, and, he was very successful. Go ahead, go ahead.
And, that's kind of the reason why, but, I have actually done artistic nudes in the past. I did a photo shoot earlier this year in Brooklyn. But, the thing is again, you know, I was denying my civil rights presence. You know what I'm saying? It's just these simple things that tear us apart. And like earlier in class, we were talking about the poor and life insurance and everything else like that. And it's just these simple things that people don't realize that affect a lot of people. Now, I was out trying to get a legitimate job. I wasn't soliciting this woman to, you know, sell drugs to anything like that. It wasn't nothing like that. It was a legitimate W-2 tax form job. You know, if I was in California, it'd be 50 different companies out there right now that I could look at. You know, with no problem, man. I could send pictures to and everything else like that. But the thing is that, you know, when you have somebody trying to do something legitimate, no matter how radical it sounds or how conservative it sounds, it's still a job. It's somebody trying to benefit their life. You know, even if you wanted to be a coal miner versus somebody that wanted to be in the porn industry, two legitimate jobs. But the thing is that you view one very different from the other. Think about it though, a coal miner can die faster than somebody in the porn industry because you can get black lung disease. But again, from healthcare and Obamacare and everything else, it's denied through radical or extreme Republicans and everybody else out there that don't want to see these people succeed in life. And that is my thing. You know, I look at it now and I see it that this country is moving in a different aspect where they're taking benefits away from the vulnerable, the poor in the country, the disadvantaged in the country, the people that can't really help themselves. I'm somebody that wants to help those people. Now, if the citizens of the country is doing something totally opposite than what I want to do, then obviously I can't work with you guys. You know, and I was thinking for a long time, I was like, you know, this would be great. You know, I'm looking at it like New Bedford, they got the whole fishing industry, they got the whole port and shipping industry and everything else out there. You got the Naval Academy in Rhode Island and everybody. I could find many people to recruit and start on my idea, working on my idea, and I got denied my Chapter 115 benefits. You know, it's something as simple as that. You know, you look at it and you say, oh, you know, you can forget about it. But nobody tells the abused woman out there to get what she went through and still stay with her husband. They say, no, leave the situation, get away from him, get away from your victimizers. Well, I'm doing the same exact thing. You know, just like in Virginia. They denied, you know, I spent 6 months in jail and everything else. The case has been reversed nowadays.
Yeah.
But the thing is that I still spent that 6 months in jail.
Yeah, you can't get that back.
You know, I can never get that 6 months back. You know, you could just imagine what can happen in 6 months. You know, some people graduate with a certificate from here in 6 months and get a promotion and end up owing $20,000, $30,000 more. So my life could have been like that. I could have gotten a certificate at a job that I've been working or whatever, and been earning $20,000 more in 6 months.
Yeah, but just, I know I'm interrupting you, but why did you send it to this particular anchor? Like, I understand it was like this, it was a photo shoot for a job, but why to her? Why did you send it to her?
Well, I sent it to her because I looked at it like this. The news is one thing. You know, the news is a First Amendment right.
Yeah.
You know, it's a constitutional right. You have the right to free speech, you have the right to freedom of press and everything else like that.
Right.
And I looked at her and was like, well, okay, she's in the news. She sees a lot worse stuff every day. People die every day. People are, you know, just like we saw the video of the lady burnt in the car accident and everything else. You see a lot worse stuff than a nude body.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you can't look at a nude, if you can look at somebody's arms and limbs chopped off or burnt up body, why can't you look at a nude body?
But what was the point of sending your body to her, honey? Did she have some connections to the porn industry or something?
Well, she does have that information. You know, her being a news reporter, she has the information to be able to say, look, I found these you know, companies right here. You could go here. You know, because there are some companies in Virginia that also does porn as well.
But I think maybe a modeling agency would have been a better place. But anyway.
But a modeling agency is a little, they don't even really deal with that stuff. Like once you get into it, and if you ever look into it, it's a totally different genre.
It's a whole industry, right?
Yeah, it's a whole different other genre than just modeling.
Yep.
So, you know, I couldn't go to somebody like Wilhelmina and say I want to do porn.
Yeah.
You know, they'd look at me like, no, don't even do that. You know.
So when you sent it to her, she took it as a personal thing that you were trying to proposition her.
Yes, exactly. And it wasn't even that, because I actually sent a letter to her as well. Said, look, this is not a proposition. I'm this person. I want to do this. I'm interested in this. Can you give me some, just like an investigative journal. You know, you have news reporters on TV at 6 o'clock that say, you know, look, this is investigative journalism. Can you look and investigate this for me? Well, that's basically almost the same thing I wanted her to do for me.
If you sent it to me as a teacher, I would start to giggle a little bit, oh my God. But then I would look at the seriousness of it. I would not have taken it as personally as saying, I said, well, all right, you want to go in there, let me connect you with some people that maybe love to help you. But I might have laughed a little bit, because I don't usually see a man, whoa. But at the same time, she took it very, like I was reading the article, she really took it to heart that you were trying to upset her in some way or something.
Yeah, no. I think I sent her 4 or 5 pictures, and only 2 of them was actually new.
Yeah.
The other 2 had like clothes or even like in my underwear.
No, I get it. And it is a huge industry, it really is. I went to the AVM Awards, because I was in Las Vegas at the time of the CES show, and we got tickets to go, and those were like the Grammy Awards for adult films. No, oh yeah. But I only stayed for a little while because I started to get a little embarrassed. But that's okay. My boyfriend stayed. He had a fun time. But the thing was that there's an industry standard, and I can't tell you the last time I never saw a foreign movie from beginning to end, so I'm not a judge of any of this. But I understand it's legit. I understand people who are in the porn industry have families, they have children. It's a business. And I also understand in other cultures, it's not as taboo as it is in the United States.
Yes, exactly.
That's exactly right. And you go to the days like a Pompeii, these civilizations, and they all had their share of pornography within the culture that was accepted.
Yeah.
And so we're hypocritical in this country. So that's the problem. Instead of just saying it is what it is, and guess what? Not that I want my boyfriend to be, I don't know what I want him to do, but I wouldn't be upset if he was watching these movies. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't bother me, especially if I benefited from it. But I mean, I wouldn't bother me. It's part of life, and I don't see it as good or bad or anything. And God knows the people who want to get into it, I know there's lots of drugs in the porn industry, but there's a lot of drugs in a lot of things too. But go ahead, Kevin. Now, some of these people have never met a wannabe porn star. Go ahead. But the thing about it is you again, 6 months in jail, no matter how many times they overturn that conviction, and you were released from that pressure, that was their initial impulse, was to put you as guilty right away, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And but this is basically the reasons why I don't want to do my greenhouse ship idea in America, and I want to go to the United Nations and do it there.
Because you don't trust America.
Yes. And any questions?
We are going to go up to Aaron, but guess what? We're going to be together for December.